Welcome to the No Faces Comic Chat. This is BUB'S Comics coming at you live from the BUB'S Cave of Wonders without gratitude and or wonders. And with me, as always, straight from the great Demdare state of Virginia, that VA place, we've got DS Comics. Welcome. All right, he's on mute. And then we've got
I'm not on mute. I'm just letting you go on your roll there.
I appreciate it. And the butter to my roll, we have Roger, aka Roger. Hey, Roger.
Hi, greetings, everyone. I was just waiting for more, BUB'S kind of, usually you're more expansive with your introduction. So I was waiting for more. I apologize.
Well, I never miss an opportunity to disappoint. And with us, fresh off the bench, we've got Jambo Comics coming in, saving us all with his sword and or sorcery. Say hello, everyone.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good to have you. Glad to have all you fine folks here tonight. We've got a great group of chatterinos here. The tailgaters were in early. We got them there, Ruben Guzman. We got Unruly Simeon was here early. Gretzky 9966 Hut. We got Rob Boswell. We got From Heroes to Icons, I Love Disney and Comics, and BTC Moon Guy is here as well. We got Pope Cerebus the Foist. We got the Jackson Roy Kirk here, James Gallegos, and that Roger guy keeps showing up. I'm always worried about him. So good to have you all here. Thank you for joining us for the No Face Comic Chat and our new and improved time slot. And we're going to get things started because whenever we have four people here, as Roger said and DS said, I'm trying to keep it a little short, the introductions, because with four people, you got to keep it rolling. You got to jump right into the topic. You got to jump right in. If you don't jump right in, you'll fall right out. So let's see what we got here. Does anyone remember the name of our team tonight? Let's go with, well, since he's new and he's got his mic off, Jambo Comics.
Hey, I'm ready, man.
Oh, look at him go.
Loinclothed Legends.
That's even better. Yes, we're going to be talking about them there swords and sorceries, saucy fleas. That's not Socrates, but it could have been. It could be Sophocles. I don't know. It could be gimme fleas. If you lay with the dogs, that's what you get. So we're going to be talking about, now people are asking about Tarzan. Now, I didn't necessarily mean Tarzan. I was thinking more of them there swords and sorceries. Is Tarzan sword and sorcery?
No, he doesn't carry a sword.
Doesn't carry a sword, and he doesn't fight magicians or sorcerers, so no.
Has a big knife, but he doesn't carry a sword.
Yeah.
All right.
He's more in the jungle genre than in sword and sorcery.
That's fair. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. But since, I mean, when you look at this panel, clearly someone judging by the name of the book they've got out, the books that they've got out, clearly knew what the topic was tonight. So, so let's go ahead and we'll start it off with our good old buddy, DS Comics.
All right. Well, I have some sword and sorcery here. This beautiful LB Cole. And yeah, I mean, the sword and sorcery, what comes to mind is a bunch of stuff that I don't have. But mainly what I think of is the 70s Warren magazines with the Frazetta stuff and Conan. That's what I think of for sword and sorcery. But I've got a couple I'll show here throughout the show. This one is sword and sorcery. It's got a dragon, and he's got a sword, mighty bear there. So, yeah, but what comes to mind for sword and sorcery for me is culminates with the whole Dungeons and Dragons in the 80s. So before that, you have the Warren magazines, all the Frazetta stuff, the Boris Vallejo stuff, Barry Windsor Smith, and I don't know, Frank Bruner, those guys. And then, of course, the Conan comic for Marvel, and then that's what I think of for Sword and Sorcery, of which I have none. And so there you go.
Well, that's a fine introduction. I appreciate you. That is also what I think of as well. All right, now we've put them off long enough. So what do you got for us there, Jambo?
Well, I guess we start off with Robert E. Howard, the guy who really started sword and sorcery genre. Just some books here.
How did he
we were
start
talking
it?
about,
Is that the original author of Conan?
Yeah, Robert E. Howard.
I did not
He
know
started the whole thing, man. And, he didn't coin the phrase. Michael Moorcock did that. But
Wait, what was that guy's last name?
I knew you'd love that, man. Michael Moorcock.
Who wouldn't love Michael?
You can see his name right there.
Was that one of the?
So he kind of coined the phrase, but the genre really started back in the days of Conan and stuff. There's a nice Frank Cho Conan cover. I thought you might like.
Frank Cho. I like that. Put it in my box.
There you go. But a lot of the sword and sorcery stuff started in the pulps back in the day, and I don't have any like weird tales and stuff like that in the early 30s. I don't really have any of those, but stuff like this is where they started. So
that Wonder Stories, that's a pulp, right? Okay.
Wonder Stories, yes, it is.
Hold that up closer. We need to see
it's
it.
It's not a Conan story, unfortunately.
Okay.
Those are
Closer.
expensive.
Closer.
Oh, I got my thumb in the way. Sorry.
Oh man.
But a lot of great stuff. Robert E. Howard's stories are great. They're fantastic. Anybody who's read them knows what I'm talking about. Great writer. And a lot of the Conan stories were just people's versions of different takes on the stories and things like that. But I mean, if you read the original stuff, it's fantastic.
So do you enjoy the other stuff too, or just the original stuff?
The original stuff. I like some of the other stuff. I mean, you got Roy Thomas helped create Red Sonja in this issue here, number 23 of Conan.
Nice.
So, I mean, there's been some good stuff, but Robert E. Howard to me, is Conan.
Nice.
Created it, wrote the best stories.
We're loving it. All right, Roger. Wait, DS has a late entry. It's not my fault, Roger. DS is doing this to us.
Well, I was just going to show Weird Tales from 1932. Exactly. That is the first appearance of Conan.
Yep.
And I don't think sorcery was much part of Conan lore until the 70s. Now, I could be wrong, but
look at that giant snake. That's got to be part of sorcery. Anytime you have mythical beasts like that, I call that sorcery.
The God in the Bowl, that was a Robert E. Howard story. Yeah, it was kind of giant snake with a human head. So, it's kind of weird.
It had some fantasy elements to it. Even back then.
So anyway, that's the Weird Tales 1932. Cool. That's
nice.
Conan.
Well, Roger, I'm sorry you had to wait and wade through some Moorcock and Weird Tales. But what do you got for us, Roger?
Well, this is an interesting topic. Really, probably this began actually back in the legends of the dragons and the swords, dragon slayers, like Beowulf, which was, I believe, that was 17th century a poem, and then the legend sort of grew from there. And then of course Robert E. Howard is the one who really brought it into the mainstream, and he has a tragic story of his life, unfortunately. But his first character was actually not Conan, but Cole, the Conqueror. And
Cole the Conqueror, you say?
Yes, the Destroyer here. He's actually had several kind of monikers underneath him. He was actually a king. He was a pirate. He was a slave. He was a mercenary. Very interesting, the parallels between Cole and Conan. But Cole was his first creation, and it was very much in the vein of what I consider sword and sorcery. You had a lot of shall we say, fighting battles, getting rid of despots, wenching, feasting, carousing, fighting, all that kind of stuff is sort of inherent in this genre, especially the Robert E. Howard stories. So it's an interesting fact that we almost never had a Conan comic. It was almost canceled after a few issues. Well, we would have had it, but it would have, Stan Lee didn't like it. He didn't think that it was selling well. So he said he wanted to pull Barry Smith into a superhero title, and Roy Thomas had to put his foot down and said, no, this is going to continue. This is going to be big. And that, obviously, now it's legendary, Conan, and how well it sold, and the icon that he became was pretty much through the Marvel Comics.
Wow. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If Kull came first,
yeah,
does it appear that much of Kull's characteristics are really just Conan's, or are they very distinctive characters? I don't know much about Kull at all.
They are pretty similar. I mean, Kull is maybe a little more introspective, a little more cerebral. He gives things a little more thought. Conan is more of an impulsive, at least originally. We're talking about, the way Robert E. Howard had written him. But yeah, they're very similar. As you can see, their design, it looks very much like him. You see the loincloth.
Oh yeah, it looks just like him to me.
You see the sword, you see the hair, but he's actually more based in Atlantis, I believe, and then later he went to other kingdoms, and he became a king of one of the rival kingdoms, I do believe, but he was a gladiator, and Conan, was bigger because Cole didn't really sell for Howard. They kind of rejected him. So he kind of revamped him into Conan, and that's what became the bigger seller.
Nice. So Cole would have been an original creation, but it was based heavily on Conan to begin with.
Well, the other way around. Conan would be based on Cole. Yeah.
Now I'm confused because as an original creation, doesn't he go back to pulps and books and things of that nature? Or?
Yeah, but Cole was his first creation before Conan, but it just didn't sell well for whatever reason, and so he kind of created Conan, and that was the character that for whatever reason took off. Cole was still being published to a certain degree, but it was never as big, not even close to as big as Conan.
Wow. Lovely. What's this? DS trying to pull some late night shenanigans here.
Well, I do have a book that has sorcery on the title, so I figured I might as well break that out. This is a nice 1973 book, Chilling Adventures into Sorcery #3, with a nice gray Morrow cover. Sort of an unknown, looked over bronze horror book, but super cool book here. So yeah, I figured I'd break that out. I think when they created Conan, like the Marvel Comics, when they've taken other characters, they sort of incorporate the lore, but give them a bit of a new history, sort of. So, the Conan in the Marvel Comics, I think, is not exactly the same as the Conan from the old days in the pulps. So yeah, that's where I think Roger's right when he says that Conan was based on Kull. Even though they sort of drummed up an old character named Conan, they gave it the Marvel spin, which they do so often on characters. They did that with Thor too, and a lot of other characters. There's a couple other I thought of. There's one, and I don't know too much about this, but I'll bet Roger has a couple issues. Is Chrysar or whatever, was another sort of sword and the sorcery comic book, and the only reason I know about that one is because they have that one cover that has the skull with the horns on it that Danzig took and used as their sort of logo.
Yeah.
And that's cool. The 80s type thing. And I think that's, sword and sorcery stuff was really going strong when it got into the early 80s.
Oh, yeah.
I think Dungeons and Dragons capitalized on that and took it to a whole other level.
Yeah, I don't have any Crystar. You're right, but
Crystar.
But that is a definitely sword and sorcery inspired series. Absolutely, yeah. It's just look different because he looks crystalline, but the all the underlying themes are sword and sorcery. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Marvel did one of they used to take those '80s movies and make comics out of them. I think they did a Dragon Slayer comic as well,
Yeah,
and that's
an adaptation.
great. And Beowulf, somebody mentioned. I think Roger mentioned Beowulf. That reminded me of like King Arthur and Merlin. That's like quintessential sword and sorcery stuff there. I don't know if there's any comic material based on that, though. Maybe somebody in the chat or on the panel knows. But yeah, that's all I got for now.
Nice. So, Jambo, am I to understand by your display that Vampirella, you would consider that sword and sorcery as well?
Oh, the sorcery part. Yeah, she's brandished a sword a time or two, I think. So yeah.
Oh, that's good news because then I'm back in the game.
There you go.
That's kind of a crossover, I would say, with horror and more sword and sorcery fantasy. Yeah, I would say there's definitely some overlap there. Yeah.
Well, then I present to you Vampirella. Over and over again. We'll just leave that one up for a minute. How about that? Very nice. I don't have the life-size one that Jambo has. So that's nice. Like he's got two. He's got Betty and Vampy.
I'd send it your way, but I'm sure it would probably not ever be the same.
I don't know. I'd be afraid of the stories it had to tell. Oh, there you go. I think Collecting Chaos has got the right idea. Oh, man.
Here's a Robert E. Howard, kind of like a mini pulp that was never really published in the pulp magazines.
The Garden of Fear. Boy,
Yeah.
that demon on wing kind of reminds me of an LB Cole cover. DS, you know which one I'm talking about? Hey, I think you have it on a copy of crack. What's it? The comic guide. Don't you know comic guide got that on there? Yeah. Look at that. Doesn't that little demon on wing? Show the wing part. DS. There you go. Doesn't that look like that?
That's pretty similar.
That's crazy.
It looks more horror to me, but yeah.
Thanks, Roger.
Just clarifying. That's all. We got to make distinctions in genres. That's all.
All right. Chaos and Comics is here, ready for his acknowledgement. And of course, once we do that, everybody start popping in. I'm here too. Comment. All right. We got Super Russ. We got Unruly Simeon still here. We got Gray Man still here. We got Chaos and Comics from Heroes of Icons here. Bill, Comic Mag Musings, finally showed up. He's got Collecting A, and I don't know,
Bill's got some great Conan stuff.
Yeah, he does. Bill had a stream the other night with all Kentuckians in honor of another Kentuckian, and he didn't invite me. And I don't know how much Roger paid you, Bill, but but next time I'll double it, unless it was like double digits. Then I'm out. I'm out. I'm on a tight budget.
Nothing to do with that.
On a tight budget.
Nothing to do with that whatsoever.
Yeah, we got Comic Kid 84 is in the house. I think I had Collecting Chaos, Slim's Comics and more. Gore Vidal is here. Always an honor to have a comment from him. You know who I miss? We need to get, just thinking of honorable commenters, we need to get Ranger Sly. I haven't seen him in a while. Somebody needs to kick his rock over. Tell him about the new time slot. Ruben Guzman is here. It's like an honor to get a comment from Gore Vidal and Ranger Sly.
You're right.
Those two guys are just
very thoughtful comments. You're right.
Yes, they're at another level.
Yep.
And a much lower level, we have Jackson Roy Kirk. Steve Woodard's in the house. Oh, we love you, Jackson Roy Kirk. All right, so I think that's got us mostly caught up. What do you got there? What's Thongor? I've seen Thongor. What is that, Roger?
Thongor is okay. when Marvel initially tried, they tried to get Conan, they didn't think that they would get him because they thought it was too expensive. And Lee, like I said, Lee was not crazy about the idea, right? So, Buscema wanted to do Conan from the beginning, and Lee said, no, I'm not taking him off a superhero title to go on that, right? So he went after Thongor, which is it's kind of a sword and sorcery and kind of almost science fiction-y two elements in a sense, created by Lynn Carter, I do believe. So this was actually a culmination of the discussion that they had, but since they didn't think they would get Conan and they got Conan, this was kind of put on the back burner, and then they actually brought him to light here in Creatures on the Loose. With, I think he had like about 8 or 9 issues, and that's the story behind Thongor. It is sword and sorcery for sure, but it has like others kind of just little sprinklings of other elements, fantasy, sci-fi, kind of like that.
What's that lizard lady doing to that poor guy?
Yeah,
that's a rough morning after. It's like he's trying to sneak out. He's trying to get the hell out of Dodge, right? And she's like, no. Don't you want to kiss now? He's like,
yeah. So that's why I put this here. It's fairly unknown. It's a Lemurian character from Lemuria, obviously it says right there. But it's kind of a cool. This is actually a Steranko cover here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give it a pass then.
I brought out Fafred and the Grey Mouser because that's classic sword and sorcery stuff there.
Right on the title.
Right, and they came out, I think, right around when Howard was writing Conan. I think it's Fritz Lieber, that's the writer that created them. Really cool little pairing. This is sort of like the big, strong, but yet introspective guy, and this is like the sneaky, creepy kind of backstabbing guy. So it was a nice little.
Was Fritz any relation to Stan and Larry?
I don't think so.
Are you saying that because you think you would have known that by now, or because you researched it and find it not to be true?
No, listen, I don't research anything anymore. It just goes from the old neurons, and sometimes they're very old,
We can't trust anything Roger's been saying for 3 years. You heard it here first, folks.
I trust Roger. He won the competition at Night Tigers.
Did he?
Sub party, yeah.
He beat me in a competition too, even though I squeaked out with the unofficial win. But he beat me too. He is a wealth of knowledge. Even if his checks are bouncing these days, he's still got a few good. Good few nuggets in the vault.
There are some bounce checks here and there, but generally speaking, I think I'm still in the black. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely. What's DS got going on? The old house and say, "Hey, I've got that one." That's it's one of the few I've got left.
Yeah, pretty good one. I mean, I don't have a bunch of sword and sorcery, so I'm just trying to find some fantasy sort of magical stuff. And I pulled stuff from the 70s because I think that to me is the decade. And Knights mentioned in the chat that the 70s resurgence of sword and sorcery fantasy type stuff, he says he thinks was due to the popularity of Lord of the Rings in the 60s. That's quite possibly true. I really don't know much about that, but I definitely think the 70s is where this genre sort of exploded and took off. And so, yeah, that's why I just pulled all stuff from the 70s that's sort of tangentially related to the category that we have.
I like it. Wait, Knights of Old's in the house. Uh-oh. You guys know what that means. Here it comes. Yeah. If you've never seen Knights of Old in a live stream, it's like watching butter melt. He's smooth. There you go.
Oh, man.
Good stuff. All right. Well, that's interesting. So we got Lord of the Rings tying in, and I would have to agree with that. Yeah. I think also the that's around the same phenomenon as Harry Peter, or what's his name? Is it Harry Peter and the Goblet of what is it? Roger, do you remember?
No. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so
Harry Potter. There you go.
Harry Potter's good. I feel like Harry Potter's very heavy on the sorcery and light on the sword. Though.
Light on the sword, yeah.
I feel like Lord of the Rings is, I don't know, they probably like 60-40 sword over sorcery, but they're closer to 50-50.
They got a wizard walking around right next to like 3 or 4 swords.
Yeah.
And the bow and arrow's got to count in there somewhere when they're impossible trick shots.
Yeah, you talking about Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
I mean, Gandalf's the most worthless wizard in movies, in my opinion.
What are you talking about? One time, he blew on his own staff. He blew his own staff, and it lit up.
Yeah, impressive. I mean, as far as movie wizards go, he's way down the list. Most of the time, all he's doing
I gotta make you big.
Forth, warning people that there's armies amassing, and he doesn't do crap. He's worthless. I got 10 wizards better than him. The Dragon Slayer wizard's better. I consider Yoda a wizard. Yoda's ahead of him. Harry Potter, there's probably like 4 or 5 in Harry Potter that are above Gandalf. Gandalf, I'm not impressed, man. He doesn't really do much. He just basically rides around warning people about stuff. And he got in one fight, which was basically a Harry Potter version of Expecto Patronum with the staffs. All right. That's not that impressive.
Well, man.
He's kind of a wizard poser, in my opinion.
Wow. Well, we had to get a take alert for DS on that one because I didn't want anyone to think that I was anti-Harry Peter or whatever his name is. Oh, no, not Harry Peter. What are we talking about?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. That's
I like to bring that one unpopular opinion each week, and then I always like to see one person that semi-agrees with me in the chat, so I'm waiting for that.
Yeah,
and I might not get it tonight.
What more could you want? All right, well, good to know.
I love Disney and comics. Yeah, he says Weasley's better mage than Gandalf. Yeah, I mean, he does more magic. They do more stuff in and Harry Potter on the train on the way to the school than Gandalf does in the whole movie, of any of the movies.
Yeah, in one of the movies, didn't he spend most of it in a cage?
I think so. I mean, Hermione does more magic than
come back to life and ride a majestic steed. I mean, come on, that's got to be something. All right, Roger, show me some Mike Grell. I need a palate cleanser after that.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is DC here, Sword and Sorcery, but again, with a little bit of a twist, a little bit of sci-fi, sort of interjection. Bill came up with Killraven. I was going to show Killraven, but that is really more sci-fi than Sword and Sorcery. Like, to use DS's percentages, I'd say that's more like 85% science fiction. So, but this is more Sword and Sorcery, I would say. There are magicians, there are despots, there are,
What? What did you say after magicians?
Despots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are, politics, the same kind of kingdoms and all that, tribes, etc. So, by the way, if anybody wants a really good read with great art for cheap, Warlord is your series. You can get these for nothing. And let me tell you, very interesting series that Grell came up with here. Dan Jurgens did the art later on. Really good stuff. You can see these covers. They're really even Bub probably likes these because they are semi,
What do you mean, even Bub?
Even Bub, would say, "Oh, this is a cover I could get into," because they do show ladies a lot in less than fully clothed.
I resemble that remark.
So, like this lady here with a, I don't know what you would call that, fur bottom there and some kind of halter top there.
You have brought that comic up before and said that I would like that comic, but let me tell you something. Mm-hmm. When I see that, I don't want to have to look through the trees to see the piece. There's too much naked dude there, and he's like an old naked dude. He's not even there.
Oh man! Well,
I gotta look through all that. I'm out.
Some of the covers are a little bit more, have the females a little more prominent, but this one is not so much. And then here's one that a lot of people probably wouldn't consider it, but I do. Amethyst, Princess of Gemworld. This definitely is sword and sorcery. I mean, it's just that it was kind of based on a very
That looks very sci-fi.
very sci-fi, but really I would say more fantasy, you know, just way out there. I mean, they were kingdoms and different houses based on different stones, amethyst and topal and diamond and all that stuff. So it was kind of quirky in that sense. But definitely sword and sorcery, a lot of magic or magic-like, you know, manifestations, and a lot. You see the sword right there, obviously on that very, very odd-looking cat there.
That is an odd-looking cat.
These are the 35-cent variants, by the way.
That's an odd-looking cat on an odd-looking cat.
Yeah, that's an odd. Exactly. That's a double. These are the 35-cent variants here. So, you know, a lot of people don't. I don't recommend this as much as Warlord. It's not my cup of tea, but definitely it fits the genre.
What about He-Man? Does He-Man fits the genre, right?
Yep, 100%.
I don't have any He-Man books.
Yep, I didn't.
Somebody's got a what is that? What's the He-Man one that's popular?
He-Ra.
No, there's that comic book that's like number 47. What is that one?
DC Presents.
DC Comics Presents, yeah. With the first
Where he battles Superman?
Yeah, isn't that which one has the first? Isn't there one that has the first He-Man in it or something?
Yeah, he battles Superman in that one.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I had a copy of that before. That's right.
I guess you could say Star Wars is sword and sorcery. I hadn't thought about that. Knights, because I mean, if you look at the lightsabers as swords, then I think that might count.
And I will definitely say it counts because I am always putting Yoda on my top wizards list, and people are telling me. But if that is sword and sorcery, then Yoda's a wizard, so he gets on my list. So yeah, so I'm definitely down with that. I'm
sure he'll reward you well. For being on your list there.
Star Wars is really a bunch of different genres: fantasy, science fiction, western, all thrown together there. So
I'm sure it is.
This guy here probably had the most famous sword, and he was a sorcerer also. Elric. He had a vampire sword that would suck people's souls out when he killed them and give him all their energy. And he was a pretty fair sorcerer also. That guy. There you go. There's that name again, Bub.
Storm Mudslinger. What's it say?
Stormbringer. That was the name of the sword.
Storm door kicker. What is it?
Good stuff.
All right. Nothing like some old Moorcock in your Stormbringer.
I don't know anything about Elric, but I know it's popular and it definitely fits. But every time I always get Elric confused with Zelda. I never played Legend of Zelda. I always get the two confused because I never read Elric and I never played Zelda. So the two are always confused.
Yes, you're killing me, man.
Yeah, I don't know if they're even related.
Wow.
But I don't participate in either of them. I played video games. I just never was into Zelda. Ironically enough, I don't know.
Wow.
There's another character Michael Moorcock wrote.
Good grief. You think he went by Mikey just to avoid I don't know.
Yeah, he probably got picked on a little bit.
I think Mikey Moorcock?
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, that one looks cool. I like that.
Mike Magnola.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense then, yeah.
There's another one there.
Yeah, Moorcock had a bunch of series back in the 80s.
Yeah, the Champion Eternal was like a series he did that had all these different heroes, and yeah, they were pretty cool. Let me see. I think I have autographed. Yes, Michael Moorcock book. And Bub, you can't have it either, man.
You'll rarely find me requesting Moorcock.
I'm glad Jambo's here because he has all kinds of stuff for this genre. It's a genre I never really, other than the movies, I never was into, comic or literature or art of this category. So I really don't know much about it. But it looks like between Roger and Jambo, they've pretty got all the bases covered. Yeah, there's Gru over there too.
There was some in the Golden Age also. I mean, not as much because for whatever reason, it hadn't got as popular yet. But I mean, there was some golden age stuff.
So what you're saying, Jambo, is that DS has no excuse.
There's actually a character called Crom that was loosely based on Conan, and the only thing is he had blonde hair, and they even named him after the deity that Conan kind of swears to sometimes, Crom. But yeah, it's kind of cool, I guess. I mean, there wasn't that many of them, like I said. It wasn't as big a thing. So,
oh yeah, Sinbad. Somebody mentioned Sinbad. Yeah, I like the old Sinbad movies. I actually had a Sinbad comic book at one point. I think it was like I don't know, it might have been a Dell or something. It was like from 53 or 54. Sinbad. But yeah, Sinbad definitely fits that.
Oh yeah. I remember the old Harryhausen movies, man. That's some great stuff.
Those are real good.
That's what got me into that type of stuff. Was just seeing that was mind blowing. That's good.
Yeah, Jason and the Argonauts, another good movie.
Oh yeah, that's Harryhausen too.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you can go to Greek and Roman mythology. You know, Hercules is really sword and sorcery when you think about it. You know, he did those 12 labors. He fought Medusa, and I mean all these kind of legendary monsters that were based on magic. So.
I would like to issue a thank you and an apology. Thank you to Bill Mag Musings for your $2 donation. That's $1 per to see the great Linda Carter running at you in full force. And the apology is that almost every time you have to look at Linda Carter, or you get to look at Linda Carter, you have to listen to Roger's voice. So surely there's a trade-off somewhere.
Yeah. And I don't think my voice is it.
No, bro. Yeah.
No, I guarantee you that's not it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. Every dollar that you all spend goes to making this episode. It goes to booking guests like Jambo Comics to save DS's Heine from the swordless and sorcery lists of the world. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, and I've got that. Well, I'll show it. I don't think I showed it on this show. It's going to be sort of anticlimactic, though.
That's all right. We'll switch to Roger.
But I don't know if I showed this.
Wow.
Holy moly.
This is all right. So this I picked a collection last week, and I got this. This is 1999 first edition. They only did 2,500 of these. It's a hardcover in the slipcase. The issue is this is still factory sealed, and I don't want to crack the seal and hurt the value. So I am not reading this, and it's absolutely killing me. I'm sure this would be the best thing ever for right now.
Yeah, but
that guy epitomized the genre right there.
That cellophane's full of acid, man. I mean, you're not preserving the book in that cellophane.
Yeah, it is. It's preserving it. I mean, it's a
keeping it from dusting, but it's going to acid eat that book.
Well, I mean, it's been in it for 21 years, and it looks perfectly fine to me. But yeah, it's factory sealed, so I'm going to try to get full value and sell it as a factory sealed copy. So I don't want to open it, but I do want to open it, but I haven't yet. So.
Oh, you're going to sell it?
Yeah.
That's killer, man. You should keep that.
Well, so far I am keeping it, and if nobody buys it and my curiosity gets bad enough, I will open it, and then I will keep it.
That thing would have been open the first minute I had it.
For what I got it for, if I can sell a factory sealed copy, there's only 2,500 of these. I think it's got good value. It may not be an easy sell, but this has some previously unpublished Frazetta stuff in it too. So anyway, yeah, I've got this. Somebody should buy it off me and save me the angst of sitting here wondering whether I should tear it open and look at it.
Well, how much are you asking for it?
Well, it's on eBay right now, and I put it on a high price with the best offer, and just to see. But I don't know. There's a couple on there that are already opened and used for anywhere from $700 to $900. So I put this at like $1,100. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, if I can get some good money out of it, I will, and if not, I'll just keep it. I don't have that much into it, but yeah, it's a super cool item. It's a slipcase edition. It's numbered, individually hand numbered inside. There's only 2,500. And it's first edition, and it's cool. Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know it was such a pricey book.
Me
yeah, you got to keep it all semi-faned for sure.
And it might not be. I mean, that's
Well,
what
that's not
people
even
are asking.
cellophane. That's polybagged.
Well, I have it in a poly. It came in a bag, and if I take it out of the bag, it's in the original cellophane. So,
Okay.
And the cellophane, as far as a seal rating goes, I would consider it to be excellent. It's not loose or torn. And I've already got an offer for $400 for it already. So, I mean, it's got value. So, I don't know. Anyway, there you go.
You have a lot of restraint. That wouldn't last 2 minutes in my possession.
I know, and I look at it every day and think, I could still sell it and enjoy it. So I don't know. I mean, once you open it, there's no going back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you could easily sell that and then buy a downgraded copy that was a reader, right? And keep the difference.
I mean, if I open this, I'm keeping it. Essentially.
Oh boy. Okay.
So
it's all or nothing with DS.
That's a tough one, man.
All right, fair enough. Here's a little sword and sorcery since we were talking about it earlier. There's your Game of Thrones. George R.R. Martin, he was part seal on his grandmother's side. And he's and this is funny because it says also a new original series from HBO. So when this came out, they didn't really it wasn't the hit that it is now, or that it had that seal over the whole cover, But pretty cool. And it's that's Alex Ross, signed by Ross. So that's going in the CBCS signature pile when I get that ready. And let's see what else. Well, more Vampirella, but I know nobody likes to see that. Ooh, this one. So this is we haven't talked about this yet, but this is kind of a sword and sorcery, but of a different sword. So this is like Egyptian and Middle Eastern swords and sorcery. Nice Alan Moore book there. Voodoo with the Adam Hughes cover. He usually puts his I don't see it there. Anybody see the Oh, is it on the radio? There it is. All right. Everybody see it now?
Yep.
All right. So there's the Adam Hughes book for y'all. Hope you enjoy that. So I haven't seen that Alex Ross. Look for it. Yeah. Signed too. I picked that up at a Half Price Books in Jambo's neck of the woods. Look out, Jambo. Pull that out of your hunting
gotta watch
area.
You, man. Yeah, gotta watch you.
Yeah. I'll be sneaking, man.
You trespass over there, you might get shot, Bub. You got to be careful.
Hey, I go to the gun store first every time I go to that town.
Yeah, he's usually armed when he comes up.
Absolutely. That's my first stop. I don't know what Bill's talking about here. That can't be right.
He knows you.
Never knew that. Yeah, there's a couple of cats on that voodoo cover. All right. What do we got next? We got Wolfengrew. That sounds like a terrible name for a band. Let's check it out.
No. Yeah, Gru obviously is a spoof of the sword and sorcery genre. He's pretty much inept, but he does somehow survives and lives to fight another day. But really, really cool if you like the whimsical takeoffs and there's all kinds of just absurd parallels that occur here, monsters and sorcerers, but they're bizarre as can be. Anyway, so if you've read Gru, you know what I'm talking about. It's fun stuff. And then Wolf is Atlas's comics sort of version of Atlas Comics. Essentially mirrored Marvel Comics at the time. So Wolf and Iron Jaw were kind of like their entries into like the Cull and Conan genre, shall we say.
David used the Barbarian. It's funny.
Yep.
I would think that at some point, although it's a historical term, I would think that at some point somebody would have seized that moniker and put a copyright on it.
Yeah, I don't think you can, because it's descriptive of a type of person, that lived in the bar.
Yeah, it's a tribal moniker, so you can't
Correct.
really.
Right.
I wouldn't think you really could do it, but
No.
maybe
Yeah, but these are to me. I mean, I think Unruly Simmons in here. Wolf was one of their better titles. Great art. Good if you like sword and sorcery stories. They were very good. You had monsters, and you had again the evil wizards, and you had the ladies in distress and all that. So it was classical kind of stuff here. And then you had Iron Jaw, which was more of a tragic story. Lost his jaw, and he was kind of had to, was looking for revenge, et cetera, and a cool little character as well.
He should be looking for his jaw. I mean, that's pretty important. I'd want to go get that back.
I think back then there was no way to replace it, so he got an iron jaw.
Oh, all right. That's just
checking. But as you see, it says Barbaric Adventures. So same. Yeah.
Look at them sneaking that in, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, we got Jambo over here digging and clawing. What's that?
The Claw. That was another DC clone of Conan. Even had Ernie Chan doing the art in it.
Oh boy.
Guy worked with John Buscema a lot. Everybody was trying to cash in after Conan took off and got so popular and everything. I mean, you've seen all kinds of stuff. Even Pacific Comics. There's a nice Greg Morrow cover there. Bub, I figured you'd kind of like her.
I can't. She's so small. I can't see her. Bring it up closer.
I don't know if I want to bring it too close or not.
Why? What'll happen?
You might hurt your eyeballs.
They've seen worse.
Cool stuff in the 80s.
Greg Morrow, he was a great artist.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. But Claw was kind of just like another Conan clone there that DC threw out there. And I think Warlord was probably their most famous one. And it was actually a pretty good book, pretty good stories and stuff.
Yeah, and Ernie Chan is a very underrated artist. A lot of people don't even know him, but he did some really, really skilled artisting. He did some quality stuff in the Bronze Age, particularly like Bronze horror titles that I know him from. But really, really good stuff. And not a lot of people know his name, and he didn't have, a lot of like big titles or superstar sort of comics, but he is just rock solid stuff.
What does SOC stand for? Do you might know?
Secret Society? No.
I don't know what that is.
I thought it was Secret Society of Supervillain, but that's not it.
Explain yourself, Bill.
Savage Sword of Conan. Savage Sword of Conan. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. See, now look, you can't just take anything and put it together. That's like saying IJ is Iron Jaw. Everybody ought to know that. All right, Bill, you're in timeout. Oh, here's some more Vampy. Now that's definitely got to be some sword and sorcery there. I don't know. Wait, no, I don't see a sword. I thought there was a sword on that one. Oh, here's a sword. Now this is a rare comic that has blood on it. I don't usually pick up any comics with a bunch of blood on them, so this is super rare in my collection.
Couldn't resist that Hughes cover, could you?
Yes, and I think I picked it up for like $1. So I was like, oh man, I can't leave that behind for $1. So I went ahead and got it. So that happened. That definitely happens. So I don't have much. What's funny is you do have more than you think you do when you start going through your collection and saying, oh yeah, that counts. But what is that? What do you got, Roger? Is that Superman?
Well, yeah, but I didn't have any of the regular titles, so I figured I'd use this one for talking about Orion. It was another DC. This was more. Wow, I hadn't read a whole bunch of it. Maybe somebody in the chat knows more than I do, but it seemed more magic than sword stuff, But although he has a sword here, as you can see, but that was Orion, and that title did run for a while in DC in the 80s, I do believe. I think he was also from Atlantis. Does that say that there? Yeah, Lord of Atlantis. Yeah, it says it right there.
I thought that was Aqua Dude.
Well, this was from another era. He was from another era.
Well, they should have corrected the error before they put him from Atlantis.
Not error, era, ERA.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
Another period of time. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. And so that just to show that, and I didn't bring everything out. I mean, we could bring Elf Quest. That is Sword and Sorcery through and through. There's so much of it out there when you think about it. Since Howard and Beowulf and all those guys sort of originated it, and there was even in a Dungeons and Dragons comic that DC had in the 80s, I do believe. So it was everywhere in comics. Once Conan came in, there was just one title after the other. Stalker was another one that DC had in the middle 70s.
I think I have that one.
You do? Okay.
How do you spell it?
Stalker?
Stalker, you say?
Stalker, yes, I do believe so. I believe that was by
I don't have it. But I tell you what I do have.
Mm-hmm.
I got Star Slayer. Now that's more sci-fi, but definitely Sword and Sorcery.
Yeah. I think that's again another crossover. Yep, absolutely.
Probably work.
Yep.
There's number 1. There's number 2. Of course, first appearance of Dender Rocket My Tear in that one. And there's number 3.
Very nice. Very nice.
Sci-fi sword and sorcery.
Right.
Absolutely. I don't think I have an issue of Stalker. I'm trying to remember that'll drive me crazy. I have a book that is an Atlas title, I believe. Wally Wood had done the inks on it. And I'm pretty sure it's got a guy wielding a sword. I just can't remember the name of it. Thanks for your help, everybody. Roger, you know all the Atlas books. What Atlas book am I talking about?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know that he did Destructor.
Destructor, that's it. Or not.
Well, but that wasn't a sword. That was a superhero, straight superhero title.
Oh, was it?
But I don't remember any other sword.
I give up.
No, I don't remember any other sword Atlas titles.
Yeah, I've got the Destructor, but that's not the one I was thinking of.
Grim Ghost. Jackson Roy Cook says Grim Ghost.
No.
That was Ernie Colin, I believe. That wasn't Wood.
Well, anytime you get Wood and Colin and Moorcock, it's a tough one out there. Are we counting Warlord of Mars in all this? I think you have to.
I think so. I mean,
it's not as much. Is there sorcery though?
It's kind of. Oh yeah. I mean, he's all the time using a sword in it.
Yeah,
I know there's sword work, but is there sorcery?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. I mean,
okay.
some of the stuff that goes on
really
can't be counted on by science. I think.
Yeah. All right, then.
Can't be explained by science necessarily. It's not straight sword and sorcery, but it definitely has elements of it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. That was some of the first stuff I read back in the day that kind of got me into comics and things. I had to do a report on a book, and it just so happened this was like the last one left on the book cart. John Carter, Warlord of Mars. So I read it, and I was like, oh, man, that's really cool. So, yeah. School paid off.
Yeah, the chat's putting like every Atlas title in the book in here.
Man, none of them is it. Maybe it was a DC book, and I'm just way off.
It's Target Manstalker. No, he was a policeman who became a superhero. Scorpion. No, he was an adventurer who became a superhero. So yeah, I don't know what it could be, Bub. I'm sorry.
There was another one that Jim Starlin did. What was it? Star Reach, I think, had sword and sorcery subject matter as well. I've always really liked that title. I've just never ever bought any.
I don't know. I never read that either.
She's got a pistola in that one, but there's some swords in the background.
Yeah.
Pistola.
The Linsner. This is the Linsner run. I thought I had them all, but I think I'm missing number 5. I don't know.
John Carter make appearances in those, Bub? Because I know.
I don't focus on him, but he might. I don't know. Some of these haven't got past the cover. It's not a great run to read. These are mostly cover buys. There's number 5 right there. Oh, I'm missing number 6. Okay, I'm missing number 6. I like that one. I like her hair in that one. That's pretty cool.
That's John Michael Lisner?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then this one's Perillo, which I sold most of the other Perillo ones that I had of the run, but this one I kept. I thought it was pretty cool.
I like the Linsner better, I think.
I like the Linsner, and Linsner does a lot of the sword and sorcery type stuff, and he had a lot of books for Red Sonja. I think he still does a cover for Red Sonja every now and then. He does Vampirella, but I have to say that of all those, I still think that his Deja Thoris is the best. So I think it fits the character the most. He does her a little slimmer in the hips, because he gets a little of that Frazetta-esque badonkadonk pen out every now and then. But he does Deja Thoris much more athletic most of the time. And it really fits the character, because she's very athletic in the books. So
he did a really nice Killraven miniseries back in the 90s, maybe 2000s, which is really fantastic, and it brings together a lot of the issues that Killraven had in the 70s. That's like We Never Saw the Martians, for example.
Nice. Well, I like the little green guys. I like the big white guys too. I forget what they're called. The monkey people.
Yeah.
Oh, what are they called?
Assumes
or.
I forgot what they were called.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, we beat, and then DS coming in with the witching hour. We'll give him a minute. Look at that.
Well, you got the sorcery part.
Yeah.
I see it. All right. Well, I got to tell you guys, it's been fun tonight. We've done it. We've beat a dead dragon with a sword again, and that's a nice book.
Yeah, it's some of the original Robert E. Howard stuff. This was later in Conan's life, supposedly, when he became king of Aquilonia. And yeah, it was some pretty good stories still in this one. Aquilonia?
I don't know.
You never read King Conan? Come on.
I've never read King Conan.
Oh, well, you should.
Actually, I got one of those too.
Thanks, Roger. Roger's always working on my salty reading list.
I bought this off the stand back in the day, so yeah, it's a little worse for the wear, but still there.
Well, it looks pretty. Oh, wow, that looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No problem with that.
Altamon, that was the guy he always.
Yep.
The wizard he always fought.
Yep. He hated the wizards, boy.
Yeah. Didn't like magic.
Did not like it. No. Hey,
that was
we have not
Ernie Chan too,
and we should, Jambo. And I think you know about this character, Thundar the Barbarian.
Thundar.
Yeah.
You remember him?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Wasn't that like Conan, like in the future?
Yeah, I think so. It was Hanna-Barbera, right?
Right. Yeah. That was a cool cartoon, but it was definitely. I mean, every time I saw it, I was like, "That's Conan, in the future."
Nothing wrong with that. I think I'd take that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is cool
for Saturday morning cartoons. Mm-hmm. This was always one of my favorite stories of Robert E. Howard. Was the Frost Giant's daughter?
Cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
There we go. A little bit better.
Do you guys collect the Savage Tale magazines at all, or do you have any of those?
Yeah, I've got some of those. I mean, I've got quite a few, but
there's only like 11, right? Of their first run?
Yeah, 11 and an annual. Yeah. I have all except number 1.
I've got more Savage Sword than I do anything. I actually have John Buscema page from this book here.
Oh wow! Like original art?
Yeah. He signed it. That's the only piece I have from him.
Well, I appreciate you showing that to us. Wait, I'm sure you're waiting for more show.
It had a decapitation in the one of the panels, which was pretty cool. But the bad thing was it didn't show Conan. And that was kind of the bummer.
Yeah, that happens.
But yeah, that was the only bad thing about it. But still, nice to have a. Yeah, it was this page right here.
Here we go. Nice. So this is not the actual original art we're looking at now. Everyone.
No.
This is the comic.
I can go yank it off the wall if you want me to.
No. I wouldn't want you to do that. You got to be careful with your OA. Save it for when you're on Kavi's channel on the original.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Plus, a guy like John Buscema, original art. I mean, if you were going to get a page, that stuff goes way up in price when you get to one of these top tier artists with a top tier character on the page. It gets super pricey. So, I mean, to have anything by a top tier artist is impressive. So,
yeah.
Very nice. I appreciate you sharing with us. Well, guys, what do you think? Should we ask Jambo to definitively pronounce sorcery for us? He's tried it from every angle.
I've been struggling
He's gone sorcery. I think for a moment he thought it was swordery, like the actual act of swinging a sword. We've got it all. So Jambo, I want you to tell us one more time what the topic of tonight's show is.
Swords and sorcery.
Oh, wait, wrong guy. Sorry, do it again.
You should have taught me before we had. Earlier in the night, I'd been okay, but you moved the time back on me, so
I take full responsibility for all his swords and sorceries. Good stuff. All right, guys. What do you say we wrap it up? What do you all in favor of wrapping up? Show your hands. All right, that's one of them there unanimous. Whatnot. So let's see. What is that? Uh-oh. Roger's got Roger. Look, we wanted to keep going, but Roger's he's busy. Liz at the door. Roger, you gonna help her?
Hi, Liz.
All right, guys. Diaz, you got anything coming up on your big bad channel?
I'm still waiting for a couple books that just shipped today. I should have by the end of this week, and then I'm going to do a little haul video with some slabs. Some pretty good stuff though, and just like 5 slabs, but they're really, really good stuff. And none of them. I think there's only one Golden Age. I've been striking out on Golden Age, but I've been picking up some other cool stuff. So I'll have that coming up probably next week on Monday. Other than that, that's about it.
Nice. That sounds good. We look forward to all your new entries into your pass-through collection.
Yeah.
That's what I'm always looking for. Roger, you got anything coming up on your big? Well, today's Monday, so tomorrow you're doing your deep dive into Obscura, aren't you?
Yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna come up with something. Yeah, probably on the something to do with my giveaway comic sets.
Oh yes, giveaway comic. Yes, I heard you that time. Yep, I had to replay it in my head, and I got you now. That sounds good. I came across a Wonder Bread giveaway the other day, and I thought of you, and then I didn't buy it for you, but I did think of you. Huh?
Was it
Flash Gordon Wonder Bread? Yeah. Do you have it already?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't have it. Yeah.
Oh, you don't have it? I'll try and find it again. It can't be that hard.
No worries, buddy. No worries.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember where I saw it. That's the hardest part. I think Jambo bought me a beer that day. I can't remember. Let's see. And then, of course, Jambo, our guest this evening. What do you got going on? You have a big subscriber contest. Everyone remember to go to Jambo Comics, type in BUB'S sent me, and you're in on his contest video, 200 plus subscriber contest. But go ahead and give your version of it, Jambo.
Yeah, I'm still having the contest, 200 plus. All you got to do is just go to my channel and look at the content. Well, you don't have to look at the content, but you have to be a subscriber to the channel. and leave a comment, and yeah, you're in automatically. If you want to do a video, that's a extra name in the hat. And like Bub said, if you can get somebody to refer you and say that, hey, they sent me or Bub sent me, you get another name in the hat. There's a gentleman by the name of K. Titus. It's been killing it, man. He's been, Bub, I hate to tell you, man, he left you sitting in the dust, buddy. He's been killing it.
Yeah, but he doesn't have that good luck that I have. I don't need as many entries as other people. I just need a few. I like to stack the deck a little bit, but I got plenty left.
He's got me over 40.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at it simply. If there's going to be any sticky fingers in your
right. The one that's got the 20 clip to it, that's probably the one that's going to be sticking out there. So yeah,
that's right. $20, and that won't even cover shipping to Japan. And all you got to do is meet me for a beer, and you get to hand deliver yours. You can even buy me the beer and still save money. Just
man.
Look at this. What do you got scrolling across the bottom there?
Tell them Bob. Remember,
I put in the link for Jambo.
No, I mean it's going to be on the up and up. He's been working really hard. K. Titus, man, he's just been killing it. And
that is amazing. I
a lot of new members to my channel and stuff, and I really appreciate it, man. I appreciate all you guys. Roger, yeah, you gave me that shout out the other day on your channel. I appreciate that. And the
my video's coming. My video's
yeah.
coming on Saturday for you. I already getting things ready.
Okay, awesome.
I don't have a video ready, but since I got a few characters out, I might film one right after this show.
There you go. Just throw one together.
My favorite Deja Torres cover.
There you go. That's a good one.
Take off a day from target shooting and shoot a video for Jambo.
I need to shoot something. I'll do both. I'll do an Instagram video, and then maybe I'll tag him in it. I haven't decided. I got a lot of stuff to do there, Roger. I'm a busy man. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thanks to everyone in the chat that's been here, and even thanks to you, Bill. Especially thanks to you, Bill, one of our stalwart supporters. I don't know why our stalwarts need such supporting, but we're glad he's here to keep things up. I want to thank everybody for being here, and also remember, DS, go ahead and say what you got to say, buddy.
Everybody make sure you do your homework.
And Roger?
Everybody be blessed and be back.
And Jambo?
Appreciate you guys. And Bill, I appreciate you and the show you had the other night. Thanks, Bub, DS, Roger, you guys for putting up with me tonight. Thanks.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Remember to read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Bye-bye.